Sit back, I'm about to sit back, sit back, I'm about to begin. Sit back, I'm about sit back, I'm about to begin.
On the AFC East side of things, Trevor, it's going to continue to show that Tom Brady meant a lot to the Patriots, man. That although Belichick is a defensive genius, he needed that quarterback to continue to make him look better than what he really is. I know Belichick is an all-time great coach, but the longer he coaches without Tom Brady, Trevor, the more and more he makes his legacy look a little fraudulent, if we're going to be honest here. Because of the cheating scandals and because of the times before and after Tom Brady, he has a losing record in his career. He's never won a playoff game without Tom, or he's won one playoff game without Tom Brady. I think he's 1-3 in the playoffs. This Patriots team is lackluster on the offensive side. I know they have Bill O'Brien, and I know that he's an actual offensive coordinator, unlike what they had last year, who was Matt Patricia. But he's a good coordinator. I don't think that he's going to be enough to make this offense anything special or good enough to string together a bunch of victories in a very tough division and a very tough conference. I don't believe in Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is one of those 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the league that is a backup quarterback pretending to be a starting quarterback. I don't believe in him. And now they got rid of Bailey Zappi. It's all on Mac Jones. Sure, they'll probably pick up another quarterback as expected, but I just don't think that Mac Jones has the capabilities, the mental fortitude to withstand the type of expectation he has to fill the shoes of Tom Brady being a top 15 pick a couple of years ago. Juju Smith-Schuster, I love him, but they don't have that game-breaking, difference-making type of player, and their quarterback's not good enough to rise to the occasion and lift these guys up. Their defense is going to be really good because that's what Belichick does. They'll be in a lot of games, but they're a team that I think is going to underperform, undersell what they are, and I think they finish 7-10 at the bottom of this division. This is where things are going to get really interesting for you, Trevor. I'm not somebody that likes noise around my team in the offseason. I know that the Chiefs have had some of that this year, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But teams that have so much pressure on them every single year and have drama surrounding their entire offseasons.
Oh, boy.
Is something that I think those teams that have proven they can't handle the pressure when it comes down to it is going to be what ultimately folds them. Trevor, we talked about it this offseason about when you have not won a Super Bowl with a coaching and quarterback tandem in the first 5 years, no team has ever won that Super Bowl in the 6th year or beyond.
Yeah.
That is what the Buffalo Bills are now going through. Whew. And McDermott and Josh Allen may not have the same expectations that they've had over the last couple of years where everyone was penciling in Josh Allen as the MVP and the Bills as the Super Bowl favorites. But trust me when I say this team has a ton of pressure on them because, Trevor, this is one of the oldest rosters in the NFL. Their defense is banking on a soon-to-be 35-year-old Von Miller coming off his second ACL injury, who's going to be on the PUP list to start the season, to carry their defense. They have good defensive players. But this defense goes as Von Miller goes because you saw once he got hurt last year, they were no longer the same defense. They depleted. Yep. This is an old defense. And now with Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen having even more on their shoulders, do you really think it's going to get any better between them when those games come that Josh Allen isn't finding Stephon Diggs when he wants him to? No run game still to this day. I know that they have names in the backfield, but are they guys that are good enough to really carry the ball like we think that they should? Josh Allen is not going to be able to get out of his own way because he loves to carry the ball. He's going to take big hits. This is what he does. And if you keep him in the pocket, he's not nearly as effective as he is when he's running and creating with his feet because that's the style of quarterback he just naturally is, Trevor. The Bills are still one of the best rosters in football. Josh Allen is one of the 3 to 4 best quarterbacks in the league. But Sean McDermott taking the reins of their defense, Todd Frazier walking away, all this stuff of Brian Dable still not being there and Ken Dorsey trying to replicate what they did when Brian Dable was there as the offensive coordinator, it's not going to work, Trevor. This is still a 10-win team, but I'm going to tell you this, Trevor. Not only are they finishing 3rd in the AFC East, I have the Bills missing the playoffs. Their schedule is not friendly. They have a lot of tough road games. Again, I know their skill.
Bills Mafia is going to absolutely,
and that's fine. I welcome
sodomize
it. I welcome
Twitter.
it. We can't sit here and pretend like this team didn't have their ultimate shot 2 years ago to win the Super Bowl. They didn't capitalize. Last year, they got absolutely embarrassed at home by a team that didn't have an offensive line. Got embarrassed. Yeah. Got whooped. Teams like you don't see teams go turn that stuff around, Trevor, when they didn't really add much to the equation. They did. I like Dalton Kincaid, but are you really banking on a rookie tight end to lift your offense? That's a little unfair. I like Dawson Knox, but he's not a difference maker. It's Stephon Diggs and everybody else. And I just don't know if that's going to be enough for this team to win more games.
Dave Davis, give him a little credit.
He's a boomer bust player.
The guy
We both
absolutely
know
single-handedly
this.
beat us, so I'll give him credit.
That was 2 years ago in the
Sure.
playoffs. My point,
He's
though,
a boomer
is
bust guy.
this team, Trevor, I just don't think that they got better this offseason. And with all the noise that's been around them, I think the pressure is still very much there. I think Sean McDermott getting that extension and Bean getting that extension made no sense because I don't know if McDermott's going to survive the end of this year.
Sure.
If they don't make the playoffs, Trevor, Sean McDermott's losing his job.
Well, according to you, he is, and they are.
So I'm picking them to go 10-7 and finish third in the AFC East because the teams that are above them are teams that I'm very big on. Sure, Tua Tagovailoa's health is a major concern, but Trevor, the things he faced last year weren't tissue issues. They were freak plays that happened. It was very weird how it worked out. I'm not anticipating that's going to happen this year for Tua because I know it sounds funny, but he was learning how to fall off season. That's something he took seriously in the off season, and I think he's a better quarterback than people give him credit. I think Tua's a top 15 quarterback easily, and with the weapons he has on offense, with Mike McDaniels running that offense, the run game they can distribute out there, dude, this is one of the more complete teams in the NFL because also people forget this. They had one of the best acquisitions of the offseason, getting Vic Fangio as their defensive coordinator. Yeah. I know that Jalen Ramsey's going to miss some time this season, but if we know anything about Vic Fangio's defenses, you can move in and out cornerbacks all the time.
Jalen Ramsey was ass last year.
Exactly.
So
and here's my thing, Trevor. Who's to say he won't be ass when he comes back? This defense is not predicated on Jalen Ramsey.
Sure.
It's predicated on that pass rush. And I think Bradley Chubb's going to have a baller season this year because he played very well back in the days with Vic Fangio.
Sure.
I think that them reuniting is going to be a big thing for this defense. This is going to be a top 10 defense in this league. This is going to be a top 10 offense in this league. And I think this team's going to win a lot of games this year. I have the Dolphins finishing second in this division at 11-6 and being the 6th seed in the AFC playoff picture, which leads one team. The most hyped team this offseason, Trevor, even more than the Cowboys, even more than any other team you can name.
For good reason.
For good reason. What did I say, Trevor, 2 months ago when we were talking about this team, and we didn't give predictions away, but I said this team is going to be built on, or this team's going to do what based on what? They will win or lose based on what Aaron Rodgers is for this team, whether he is bought in or he just wants to just collect money and just come out here and play ayahuasca ball. That's not who I believe he is this year. I believe the guy we're seeing at Hard Knocks is genuinely who he is.
So good.
And here's the thing, Trevor. I'm not going to give my prediction away yet, but there's a reason why Devontae Adams made the money he made from the Raiders. It's because he put up historic production back in Green Bay. I'd like to think that's because he played with Aaron Rodgers. Well, the Jets have this one wide receiver named Garrett Wilson who put up over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns last season with the worst quarterback play in the NFL.
He good.
I love my guy Nick Wright. I do. But he's been shitting all over this Jets team, saying they were really a 5-win team last year. They weren't really a 7-win team because they faced a lot of backup quarterbacks. Do you know who else played a lot of backup quarterbacks last year?
Take.
Every team that played the Jets. The Jets had every single game they played, they had the disadvantage at quarterback. Yeah. Every single game. And they still won 7 games last year with a young but aspiring defense.
With possibly the best up-and-coming defensive lineman, and
Quinnen Williams,
and arguably already the best cornerback in football.
Thank you. They already have the best cornerback in football, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, not to mention all the pieces around Quinnen Williams.
Yes.
And the fact, Trevor, like I said, year 2 of Garrett Wilson with a much improved quarterback, I get their offensive line is a question. But we have seen teams here in Kansas City that had shaky offensive lines get to the Super Bowl. We saw that in 2020 when the Chiefs were losing an offensive lineman damn near every week, and Patrick Mahomes still willed them. Well, who's the only guy that's comparable to Patrick Mahomes in talent, Trevor? Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
So I look at it like that. I see him being the ultimate difference maker. I think this team is going to shock a lot of people this year and also make a lot of us look right because they are one of the more talented rosters in the NFL. Robert Saleh still has to prove his worth as a head coach in this league, but he's going to stay the hell out of the way and let Nat Hackett and Aaron Rodgers do their thing because we can shit on Nat Hackett all we want, but when he was in Green Bay as the offensive coordinator, Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs back to back. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to play like an MVP this year. I think that offense is going to be clicking. resting, and this is going to be one of the 5 best defenses in the league again because they're not going to be on the field nearly as much, which means they're going to be more rested, which means less injuries. And I think this team is going to win 11 games and win this division, 11-6, being the 4th seed in the AFC playoff picture.
My breakdown is pretty similar to yours. I just have 2 teams flip flopped. But at 4, I mean, I think everyone, the consensus number 4 in this division is the Patriots, the odd one out. Out of respect, I'm giving them 6 wins. They're going 6-11. I think you had them. What I think it was
Patriots.
Yeah,
7-10.
Okay, so you gave them more wins than I did. I think this is still a full rebuild going on here. They're trying to figure something out. I mean, grabbing Juju just felt like kind of like a desperation to get a name on the offense. And Juju, who knows if he even finishes the year healthy? For being honest, I like Juju in the system though. I think he's going to catch a lot of balls. So for anybody playing fantasy, I think he's a good like wide receiver 3 for your team. Sure. I love Ramondre Stevenson. I think he's going to absolutely eat this year. It's a solid O-line, and they know how to feed him. And then Ezekiel Elliott as a good goal line guy for sure. I think their running game is going to be good, and I think it's going to be really based on running game and defense. The defense should still definitely be solid, but this division is just overwhelming for them. They're going to lose a lot of divisional games, if I'm being honest. So I had them going 6-11. Nothing sexy about them at all this year, and I think Belichick continues to get exposed. So I agree with you on that. I had the Miami Dolphins 3rd in this division.
Wow.
And reason being, I just there's still a lot of question marks. Can Tua stay healthy? If Tua goes down, this team's fucked. Period. We've seen what happened when he went down. The whole entire team, and we've seen Tua, even when he's healthy, lose 7 straight and then win 7 straight. There's a lot of ups and downs with himself as a leader of a team, if we're all being honest. So there's still a lot of question marks there for me with him. Still a lot of question marks with the coaching. We don't know what McDaniels is capable of yet. We've seen cool, hot streaks of him. We obviously know the weapons in this offense are outstanding. The running game is garbage, though. I mean, you got Mostert, who is 31 going on 32, is going to get hurt. Jeff Wilson's on IR. They drafted A-Chain, who's already banged up this preseason. Who is going to be running the ball? I don't know. I mean, Mostert might have a hot start to the year, but he's going to get hurt at some point again. He's never finished his season. Now he's a year older. So I don't know what this running game is going to be. The protection, I don't know, man. Are they going to protect Tua this year? I don't know. There's so much more questions for me than the Bills, who I have finishing second. But I do have Miami going 10-7. Out of respect, I think that offense is way too good when healthy. They can absolutely prove me wrong, and I would not be surprised. That offense is way too good. But I have questions about the coaching still. I have questions about Tua remaining healthy and being consistent, because we have yet to see any of those yet. For a whole season. So if they can put those two together and those things do stay intact, 100%, I fully believe they can leapfrog the Bills this year, 100%, which is why I only have them a game behind the Bills. I have the Bills going 11-6. Still Josh Allen, man. Still a force to be reckoned with in this league. Stephon Diggs is still an elite receiver. I have the better quarterback and the better receiver in my mind. We can debate on who's better between him and Tyreek. Tyreek's probably the more dominant, explosive. But
give me Tyreek over Stephon.
Sure. But I think their skill sets are different. I think they're both incredible what they do. I think Stephon's the better route runner. The better athlete is out without a question. Tyreek Hill, the best athlete at that position in this league. Could go for 2,000 yards receiving this year, bro. I mean, he almost did it last year.
Jalen Waddle's over there too. Let's forget that.
Who 100%. Yeah. The duo over there is absolutely better. But I trust the Bills to be the better team. I'm having them squeaking out one more win than the Dolphins. I think, and if those teams flip flop and the Dolphins end up being I would not be surprised.
Right.
It was within a game for me. I think this division's so great. I think this division's gonna be really fun to watch. There's gonna be a lot of brutal battles.
I hate to interrupt you, man. I promise I'm not. But this is such an interesting conversation to have.
Sure.
I just want to say this really fast. Again, I look at because the year to year the NFL changes so much. You would agree with me the Bills didn't get better this offseason, right? Just like real quick.
No,
okay.
They lost some pieces in the secondary. I think the running game actually got better. I think James Cook is better than
they don't run the ball,
Singletary. Sure, but I think what we saw towards the last few games of the year, we saw James Cook actually playing really well. I think he's a good receiving back. So yeah.
Okay, and then you look at the changes on the Dolphins side. They improved a defensive coordinator. They improved defensive players. And if, like you said, the whole Tua healthy part of it, I mean, you look at it, the Dolphins made the playoffs last year. I think they won 10 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And Tua missed, 4 or 5 games? They had, Skylar Thompson and a bunch of just dudes playing behind him. They got Mike White as their backup now. Mike White is not a good, great quarterback. He's a good backup. He's better than Skylar Thompson. Sure. And Skylar Thompson almost led them to a road victory in Buffalo in the playoffs. So I just look at the improvement the Dolphins have made. It's all hinging on health. I get it. But if that's what you're hinging it on, I like your team better than another team that did not improve, and their health is a concern as well because, again, their defense goes as Von Miller goes, and he's an aging, injury-prone player.
I will agree with you that the Bills got worse defensively, but I do think they got better offensively, though. I think they kept all their offensive weapons intact, and I think the fact that I think they upgraded at running back. I think they're leaning into the new running backs with James Cook, who I think is better than Singletary. So I think their offense did be, and then they drafted an absolute freak at tight end. I think Dalton Kincaid is an absolute stud, could be a year one contributor for sure. I think he's going to be. I think he's leapfrogged Dawson Knox already on the roster.
Wow.
He has. He's the tight end one on the
No,
roster.
I didn't know that. That's what I'm saying. Wow, I didn't know
So
that.
I think Kincaid is an absolute guy that could not be like a massive game changer for the team in real life, but I think as a contributor in the passing game to be like a safety blanket and a guy that's really good after the catch, really good athlete. Dawson Knox wasn't that. He wasn't even supposed to be that. They turned him into that. He never caught a touchdown in college.
It's true.
He was a blocking tight end. So I think if you combine those two guys with that, I think that tight end, they could have some more 12-man, sets. So I think they could do a lot of two tight end with Dawson Knox being more on the blocking side of things and then Kincaid going receiving. I think their offense actually got better in my mind. And I think Josh Allen is far superior to Tua in my mind. So I'm just going with the better quarterback and the better, overall team that's shown that year in, year out so far. Granted, like I said, I have them one game better.
Yeah.
That could easily flip, and the Dolphins could be. You know what I mean? So you'll be surprised once we talk about playoffs. But, yeah. So I have the Bills going 11-6. New York Jets. I mean, you already know my guy Aaron Rodgers, bro. You pair him with Garrett Wilson, the offensive rookie of the year. I think anytime Aaron Rodgers finds one guy that he knows has elite upside, he's going to fuck the whole league with that guy. He does it every time. You know what I mean? Every time he has one guy he locks onto, the numbers are stupid. And Garrett Wilson might be the best he's ever had, possibly. I'm not saying Devontae Adams, but listen.
You could be right.
But Devontae Adams struggled out the gate in his career.
It took Devontae 4 years.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And Garrett Wilson's already Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Right, man.
He could be better.
With horrendous quarterback play.
So this could be a 3-4 year right out in the sunset kind of situation for Aaron Rodgers, man. I love this Jets team. That could be the best defense in the league this year. Sauce Gardner is the tits. I mean, I love the guy so much. He's so fun. Seeing defensive guys absolutely just gush over Aaron Rodgers too. Not even just the receivers and the offensive weapons, but seeing Sauce Gardner give him the drip, give him the chain, all that. That's so.
This team really, they have the good camaraderie. Man.
I mean,
going
from what they had before to this, I mean, it's an absolute massive upgrade. So this team is going to be so fun. I love Robert Saleh. Rah coach who I love, who's also got the smarts, not just a rah musclehead freak kind of guy. He's a guy that's got it as well, and I believe in this team. I say all that, but I only have them winning one more game than the Bills. I have them going 12-5. I think this is going to be a tight race. These three teams this might be the best division of football. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I have them all within a game or two of each other. Yeah. But I think this division is going to be a battle. I think there's a lot of 1-1 split games between the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Jets. I think those teams are going to really battle it out. So for that reason, I have all those teams within a game or two of each other. But I have them going 12-5 and winning this division.
Like.